Today, we want to talk about the ocean ecosystem based on the sugar sweep and the wolf sheep model. As we talked about before, the previous model we have we have learned about is sugar skip model and the wolf sheep model. Those are based on the agent-based model. And the first model, sugar skip model, have two things we want to take consider of. The first one is generate renewable resources, that is the sugar through the sugar skip model, and we think that is the original and energy for the agent. The second is that the agent need to feed the sugar to metabolize and move, and will die if the individual energy is zero. As for the second model, we have four discussion about that. The first one is two new agents were added in this model. It's sheep and wolves. And the second is that the sheep are herbivores. They eat the herb, while the wolf eat sheep. They both have energy consumed on moving and breeding. They will die when the energy is zero. The third part is grass can grow and has a certain growth cycle. So, as a fourth, the sheep and wolves need to move randomly to the adjacent cells. Our aim of the ecosystem of ocean is that we want to do some improvement and innovations that have been made on the two original models to simulate the real environment in more detail by adding some new agents and seasonal factors. Then we want to take in the marine environment as an example, the evolution relationship of the food chain composed of seagrass, shrimp, small fish, and sea turtles is discussed, and we want to show the stable numbers of them. The third aim is that some seasonal ocean currents are added as an example, external environmental influence, which will affect the generation of seagrass and thus affect the entire simulated ecosystem. As a result, the plot will generated by the net logo will show the fluctuation and rebalancing of the organism population. Here are some previous research about our model. The first one is there is a lot of ecological modeling about how to do as a teaching tool for researching the ecological system and predator-prey relationships. And second is some artificial life and complex system will use this model to do something like the model will serve as an example of emergent behaviors and complex system dynamics. The third is that some renewable management and conservation will considered in this model, like the model helps in understanding the impact of different management strategies on wildlife populations. And here are some examples. The first one is the model of predator-prey dynamics. These models simulate the population dynamics of predators and prey that live in the same ecosystem and compete for limited resource. This model is an agent-based model of simulation, and it is based on the classical Loctite-Wattario differential equation model. And as for the second is just we learned in the class is a wolf sheep prediction model used as an education tool. We can find it in the Wiki and the Euro model. As for the third, I find some thing based on the ecosystem model, based on the ocean ecosystem. It talks about the combining system dynamics and agent-based modeling to analyze some social ecological interactions. It is a kind of example for modeling relationship of shallow lake. So we can do some comparison of the shallow lake to the ocean. That is what we think about. The next is the effect of the existing models. First, the lack of cooperation or competition. The second is a lack of external influence. That is we are focused on. And the third is a linear reproduction and death. We think that is difficult to change because the net law cannot hold that long thing. And that is our hypothesis. It tells that simulated ocean model of a biological system take advantage of exploring marine ecological balance if more species and external influences are considered than single ecosystem without consideration of those factors.
Okay, next I will introduce our extender model. The basic components of the model consist of three parts: agents, rules, and parameters. Firstly, we have different types of agents. They represent the career and the two sides of fish in the marine system. Secondly, we have a series of rules to simulate the interactions and behaviors among agents. These rules involve movement, predation, reproduction, ocean currents. Finally, we have some parameters that can adjust the behavior and the characters of the model. The growth speed of resource, the initial number of agents, and the energy consumption rates of agents. Next, the demonstration shows how the model operates. As shown in the video, the color dips on the map represents the amount of resource, and the third type of agents move randomly. They will move toward a prey if it approaches within their field to reveal. Next, I will introduce the selection of two parameters. First, the initial number of agents. Different number of agents will have different impact on research, analyzation, computation, and predation. The higher initial number of agents, the more balanced the ecosystem will be. Secondly, the rate of resource generation. The rate of resource generation determines the stability of the ecosystem and the distribution of resource. As shown in the graph, a lower resource generation rate will slow down the growth rate of species, while a higher resource growth rate will lead to repeated reproduction of agents, thus disrupting the ecological balance.
And then I would like to introduce model evaluation. First is parameter value settings. Running the model multiple times with different parameter value settings to obtain averages for statistical analysis and evaluation. in order to assess the reasonableness of the parameter settings. And then is the trade-off changes in biological quantity. The changes in the quantity of organisms across three hierarchical levels should closely resemble the fluctuations observed in real-life mirror algorithm populations. In most cases, environmental changes result in temporal fluctuations in biological quantities, eventually stabilizing near the carrying capacity of the environment. However, in rural incidents, fluctuations from specific environmental events can lead to the extinction of certain species. And then I would like to conduct the multiply simulations using behaviorscape, averaging the result of 20 runs for every analysis. The table below presents the results under different rates of resources replenishment, indicating relatively linear difference, suggesting the model's stability. The following displays the population changes under various interval population conditions, revealing a stable variation in the results, and it almost keeps stable in this for different charts. And this for different charts is population evaluation of different interval numbers from 300 to 900. And then it's a summary of the results. The supply of resources and their efficiency in regeneration largely determine the population size of the organisms throughout the food chain. And the second point is an increase in resources leads to an increase in the population size of various species, while a decrease in the resources can result in a decrease or even extinction of population size. And the third point is migration of population can increase pressure on downstream species in the food chain, potentially leading to extinction or after a period of adjustment, reaching a new equilibrium. The advantages of this model compared to real-life biological system experiments is simplifies speed, ease of operation, and ability to set various environmental conditions. And the last point is in practical food chain simulations, this model can provide valuable insights for biodiversity conservation efforts. And at last, I would like to introduce the further development of our model. First, we want to introduce new types of resources like water and habitats can further enrich our mode. And the second is optimizing algorithm, include biology attributes such as speed, weight, and energy, and other things. And I like to we want to simulating the algorithms of oil population, which would lead to a sudden decrease in the population of the animals and the resources. That's all, and this is our reference.